but it's now up and running. We'll call this regular session of the Belchertown Economic Development Industrial Corporation to order. Our agenda has been posted. We'll do a quick round of introductions of the people up front, and then others, as you speak, I would ask if you would introduce yourselves, if you're in the audience or doing presentation. I'm Jonathan Spiegel, Vice Chair of the EDIC.
Beth Maroney, Treasurer of the EDIC.
Kirk Stevens, Chair of EDIC.
Matt Jackson, member.
Cheryl Denton, member.
And online we will have Bob Rivard, who's a member. And also up there I see we have Doug Albertson, who's our town planner.
And John Ritter.
And John Ritter, our select board member.
And a citizen.
And a citizen. Thank you, yes.
I think that's Jen, or it could be.
No,
Jen's here.
Jen's here.
I'm here.
There's Brad Turner online.
Yes.
So is Nicole. Oh, okay.
He's curious what's going on.
She's working that.
Okay. Our agenda's been posted. We're going to keep our regular session as brief as possible because this evening we are going to have a presentation by the NHB Foundation presenting us with their views of how our development might move forward from this point in time. And we will be conducting that primarily in executive session because of their proprietary information they're going to be sharing with us and plans, and to discuss and negotiate whatever that might transpire. So we will be moving to executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 2.1, subsection 6 of the Open Meeting Law, to hear this proprietary information and discuss and negotiate terms and conditions. And we will not return to public session at the end of the executive session. But to begin with, we're going to move quickly through the front part of our open agenda here. And we did receive a draft of minutes from our last meeting. However, we're in the process of changing formats, etc. I'm going to suggest we, Matt, that we postpone that till our meeting from 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And take that up at that point in time. Do we have any urgent payables, Beth?
We do not.
Okay, we can move right past that item. And reporting, last meeting we did, we had discussion with Mass Development about accounting of our accounts with them. And I understand that's still in process. So we'll probably have that at our next meeting.
Yes.
To go into in depth. Okay, good. Site matters, security, anything?
Well, the snow is our friend.
Snow is our friend.
Nobody wants to go in those buildings now. So we're good for next couple weeks.
Snow is our friend.
We're the proud owners of the most attractive nuisance in Western Mass. So one by one, the buildings are being removed, but we started with 36. Now we're down to 6. But anyway, the snow will give us a reprieve for a few weeks. So we're good.
Okay. Real estate broker selection process. Matt, you were leading us on that.
Yep.
Where does that stand at this point?
Looks pretty good. Communication's been better with the smaller brokerage. Because I think a lot of people, you and I have discussed as well, lot B or partial B and D are not a huge project. So a lot of the times the smaller people will be more attracted to it, and it would open up communications. So I think it's a better bet going with a smaller commercial broker, still getting it on CoStar and being able to have the transparency and talk to the board when news comes in instead of chasing down info. Then I also talked to a developer who Kirk already talked to as well, and we discussed some ideas for it. And he's interested, but I said set up a proposal. We should still go through a broker, in my opinion. Just take it off our plate.
Yeah, I mean, as being a quasi-public entity, we're going to need to stay to state of the, true and proven, whatever, you know,
Oh, yeah.
The process, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't
We
want
can't show favoritism or anything.
No, that's why I asked for a proposal. Don't just say
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Then he can present.
So perhaps at our next meeting, we'll be able to actually make a decision on
Yep.
a broker.
That's what I believe.
Okay, great.
Good.
Sooner the better, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
get us a couple, one or two to choose from.
For parcel D,
This is parcel
And-
B
B and D.
and D.
for both this one's?
Yeah,
Right.
we've decided for the public, we've decided those two parcels will move forward immediately and go through whatever process is necessary to get them registered for sale. This is a small parcel on Route 202, which is parcel B. There's already a small restaurant on one of the early segments of that property. And parcel D is a larger forested parcel. What is it, 38?
Well, the entire parcel's like 53, but,
53, but usable.
it's separated by the brook, so everything on the other side of the brook isn't really usable.
And that's, the Mass Development gave us a grant to prepare the site readiness grant. That's winding down. It's almost finished.
True.
And we'll have the plans ready for a broker to use in the sale of that process fairly soon. So we've had communication from Mass Development about the grant, Amanda Newmiller. And I think they're finalizing the remaining tasks have been finalized. And they're just, I guess, waiting for some snow to subside. But
Well, that'll help, but I think most of the stuff is in-house at this point. Most of the
okay,
remaining things on the grant that I don't think they have to do too many site visits I think they've gotten all the info that they need to be able to fill in the blanks there. But I reached out to Amanda today, but, hadn't heard back. So I'm sure we'll be in contact this week and we'll try to nail down the process to, on that end and, working with Doug Albertson here to, finalize the 10-acre piece from the town that's adjacent to get that all as one parcel.
okay, good.
Yeah.
So that's parcel B and parcel D status. The next thing on the agenda is master plan renewal process. And the master plan has to get renewed. And as have been pointed out by Cheryl and others, we're in a different era than when we first wrote the existing master plan. And since the master plan is something which will involve a lot of communication, both within the board and elsewhere. And since I wrote the last one, I'm going to suggest that Cheryl and I take that on. She and I have talked about this and begin how to put together how we're going to approach it. So we'll start moving that forward as soon as we can put our heads together on that.
Just for some clarity, just on that master plan, is this just to review it? I'm not sure what that means, renewal process.
Well, the review may result in suggested changes. So the process should allow for that. And to take into account new conditions in the market and so on and so forth. So it could look very much the same, or it could look somewhat different. More likely with added kinds of activities.
We
Beth?
talked about it at the last meeting and a couple meetings where it's not that we're looking to rewrite it. We just want to make sure there's nothing in there that's restricting us from developing something based on the current market conditions. Like, is there something in there that says we can't do an AI facility? We just want to make sure we're not locking ourselves out of anything due to the changes since the original master plan.
Not just the, not, let me clarify, not just the market. You know, the master plan, it is about, you know, the number of jobs we'd like to get in there, you know, the types of businesses, all of the rest of that. And that's what's changed in the last 10 years, most dramatically, even more so than the market.
Right.
You know, it's been, like we said, you know, the workforce changes in how businesses are operating. One, since COVID, now with AI added in, I mean, we have to adjust or at least be prepared.
Okay. We're moving towards our major piece of work for the evening. And before we enter executive session, I think for the purpose of the public that might be online or anyone who might be interested, we have with us tonight the NHP Foundation. And I would like to call on Mr. Scott Barkin to give a brief overview of the organization and generally how you think your organization can contribute to what we are trying to do here, albeit this is your first visit with us. So expectation isn't for a total understanding of every little nuance of the property and the project.
Before we get deep into that, can we just quickly do introductions, get
And
your
we'll
names
just start with
and
that.
who you are? And
Sure, yeah. My name's Scott Barkin. I'm a Senior Vice President at the NHP Foundation. I'm joined here, Micah Hunter,
Micah,
Micah, M-I-C-A-H, Micah.
M-I-C-A-H, sorry,
That's right, Micah Hunter.
Hunter,
And Robert Jefferson.
and you're also with NHP?
Yep, the three of us are all with the NHP Foundation. And I'll do this sort of initial introduction of the organization.
Sure.
And invite them up to the table and we can get into more details. And I think you also know Peter.
Yes.
Great.
And I would ask you to keep it to maybe 7, 8, 9 minutes, if you
Sure.
could.
Yeah.
A general introduction so that the public can understand.
Yeah.
You also, I would say, have an excellent website for people to take a look at.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'll, for those not in the room, I'll just mention you can find out more about us at nhpfoundation.org. We also brought some materials, handouts for people in the room. Welcome to grab some of those materials. And I am, apologize, but I just left my business cards in my car, but I'd be happy to answer any questions afterwards too. So the NHP Foundation, we've been around since sort of the mid-'80s. We're about a 40-year-old organization. And we specialize in developing affordable housing of different kinds across the country. We develop, we own about 9,000 units now. We've developed about 20,000 units over the history of our organization. Those 9,000 units are in 16 different states in the District of Columbia, and there's sort of pretty maps around that show those, and we can talk about those more in executive session. And we're excited to sort of be here in Belchertown for the first time. The organization, we're a national organization. We do work from New England down through the Mid-Atlantic, down south, out west. We have a Midwest office, doing work in Colorado, Texas. Don't do much work yet in Colorado now on the West Coast, but we have a pretty big footprint. And what we pride ourselves in is, although we're a national organization, we're really community developers. And so we think of ourselves and work really hard to get to know the towns that we own and operate and do our work in. And, think of ourselves in many ways as a device of the local community. What is it that we can help you all do? What are your goals? And those are our goals. And so we like to spend time working in the community, understanding what the community's needs are, and trying to figure out how we might be able to help. And that can come out in lots of different ways. Sometimes it's workforce housing. We're doing a lot of more workforce housing in rocky Rocky Mountain area, right up in Frisco, Colorado. We're doing that kind of work in the Mid-Atlantic. We're doing it in Minneapolis. And those are, places that those jurisdictions have identified that's their problem. And they ask us for help solving it. We also do like extremely low income housing, right? So people coming out of homelessness. And we're doing that kind of work in Houston and Chicago and Baltimore. And those are, the issues that the communities are dealing with. And so they come partnering up with us, and we help them figure out not just how to build the housing, but then provide sort of wraparound services that are necessary to support those individuals. And then, we do sort of, lots of different affordable housing sort of in between, people coming out of homelessness, workforce housing. It's some one way or another, though, it typically has some kind of affordability to it, right? That's what we really focus on. We're not just out there building sort of market rate. We're a nonprofit organization. All of the sort of revenues, profits that we have go back into the housing and into our mission. We're a mission-driven organization. We're governed by a board of 11 people, trustees. They make sure we're sort of staying on target and doing what we do. You can see their names on our website. We do this work, we have sort of 2 headquarters offices, one in Washington, D.C. and one in New York. And then we have satellite offices in Chicago and Colorado and in Houston. But we also have a lot of people working out of their home offices. I actually work out of my home office outside of Philadelphia. Spend a lot of time on the road. And so we do the work in lots of different ways. We have about 40 developers doing that work. So we're really focusing on the development and acquisition work that we do. We also have divisions that focus on our asset management, sort of, working on once we own the assets and once they're up and running, sort of the asset management operations. But we don't do property management, just to draw the distinction here. So we hire third-party property managers in the communities. We find that works best. Becomes a really very localized expertise in a way. So we try to find, and our asset management division works to find property management companies that know the area and operations best. Right, snow removal is important up here. It's not so important down in Texas, hopefully. Right, so I mean that's
Sometimes.
sometimes, hopefully not. But that's what our asset management division sort of takes over in the operations thing. We have a finance division, we have a construction management division. That really knows how these buildings get put together. We developers, don't like to get our hands dirty, but they do. So we have them by our side along the way. We also have a division of resident services, right? So we don't think of these as just buildings, but communities. And so our Operation Pathways subsidiary runs services in the properties. About half of our properties has resident services managers, and they do everything
Can
running.
you talk up just a little bit louder?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Those of us who are a little older.
Okay, sorry. I was mentioning that we have an Operation Pathways, which is a resident services division, and they provide services in the apartment buildings, right? So it might be after-school programming for kids. It could be bingo night or movie night. It could be financial services, seminars or different things in the properties. So we we're not just building, but we're sort of operating communities and providers of that resident services division. To give you a sense, we have about 30 projects in our pipeline right now. So these are projects from just starting out, like the work that we're doing here in Carriage Grove, to projects that are closing out, right, and are leasing up and stabilizing and eventually moving on to our asset management division to sort of operate full time. So between pre-development and development projects under construction, closing about 30 projects. It's about $500 million of development, and we're a very busy company. I think the way to think about it is what we really specialize in is the public financing and private funds that go into all of this kinds of affordable housing. We have, we care about the sticks and bricks. We hire top-notch architects and general contractors to design and build the work, these homes. But really what we specialize in is the public funds, how they get layered on top of each other to finance construction and operations of a range of different affordable housing. And that can be, I would also just say, the types of housing, it can be infill, urban infill, multifamily apartment buildings, and it could be townhouses. It can even be scattered site, single family homes. It really depends on what the community needs and wants and what sort of fits in there. We sort of do it all and sort of, spend time. What's going to work best in the community and designing and building that. Anyways, that's how did I do on time? Is that
That's excellent.
that's sort of an overview about the MHP?
That's very, very helpful, and I think it's a good start for us.
Yeah.
Our intent is to go into executive session then, so we can hear more detail, ask questions that may arise coming from your presentation to us, but also from our current situation and our project and our town. So I think we're ready to do that.
Mhm.
Is that okay, members?
Yes.
So I would entertain a motion then to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of hearing proposals and proprietary information under Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 2.1, subsection 6, and not return to a regular meeting at the conclusion of the executive session.
I make the motion that we adjourn the regular session and go into executive session for the purposes of hearing the proposal from NHP and to not return to the regular session at the close of the executive session.
Thank you. Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Kirk seconds. This will be a roll call vote.
Make sure that people that are.
It's going to be a different.
Yeah, I know. Just make sure that they have it.
Okay, before we sign off.
Right.
Okay. Bob, your
Aye.
vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Beth?
Yes.
Jonathan, yes?
Yes.
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 Okay, so we are 600 to enter executive session. So we'll take a moment to transition. I'm going to open up that portal. Bob, you have that information?
I do.
Can you just send me a link when you get a chance, please? This is John.
Okay,
I'll send it to you.
it's on its way, John.
Thank you.
And Doug, you have it?
Yep, I do.
Uh,
No one else there. She's got
Well, no, you had Northeast Capital and Hamad on there.
Gary Walker.
And,
Oh, Gary's from Boston Development? Oh, okay.
yeah, and Gary.
Okay, and Scott and Hamad is to be part of your presentation?
That'd be great.
Hamad, do you have the new code to sign into it's a different
Portal.
portal?
did send that over to Ahmad as well.
Oh no, I just went to the meeting notice in order to get onto this one.
Okay, I will send that to you. I'm gonna send that to you as soon as I get the other one started. It'll take me just a second, okay? I have your,
Does Doug have it?
I have your email. Doug has it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna close this meeting.
yes. Start.